hungry for the road all my life, thirsty for adventure all my youth, chasing all my freedoms down Liberty Avenue. And every time I hear a phrase my mother used to say to me, everything happens for a reason, I get the feeling I need a little taste of home, 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 just a little taste of home. I need a little taste of home, home, home. I need a little taste of home.
I just have this really wide panorama windows, which I leave open over the night. And I feel the wind, I see the stars, I hear the birds. It is so nice. I will just try to show you what I see right now.
And every time I hear a song my father used to sing to me, sweet words of an Irish lullaby, I get the feeling I need a little taste of home, home, home. I need a little taste of home. Home, 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 just a little taste of home. I need a little taste of home, 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 no matter where I go. A little taste of home, home, home. I need a little taste of home.
In another month, another community, and this time with a focus on construction work, as they were just in the process of turning more ruins on their land into livable homes. So after a slow morning, it was time to get that muscles burning. Our main task was to build a wooden floor in this one, and the nice thing about it was that we two girls living there in this time alone had all the freedom to find a creative solution for the challenges we had. And super uneven ground, no straight walls because of the use of natural stones, and the massive amount of water that's going exactly through here in winter. But exactly this trust gave us a lot of confidence, even though we never did it before. So we first leveled the ground. I didn't film any of it, but it was a lot of work and included at least 20 loads of wheelbarrows with the earth we had to get rid of, as we also wanted to get deep enough to have a higher ceiling as a result and to still have enough space between the wooden floor and the ground for any water to go through. Actually, that's a pretty good example why you should really analyze your given circumstances of the land and in the best case, observe your land for a full year before building anything. Because water patterns change with the seasons. What's dry now might flood in spring. Sunlight shifts too, so you learn where it's best to grow food or install solar. Wind patterns and frost pockets reveal themselves over time, helping you to plan for comfort and energy efficiency. And even watching wildlife shows you natural paths and habitats worth protecting. And you also get to know your soil and what plants thrive where. And most importantly, a year of observation helps you make decisions in harmony with the land, so you build the right thing in the right place the first time. In between, we also cleaned the stones with a high pressure cleaner, and let me tell you, that was extremely satisfying, and I think anybody can relate who used one before. Just wow. I'm done with work for now. I just flattened the ground. It was super bumpy and uneven, and I dig a little line on the side so that I can put a pipe in, so when it rains in the winter a lot, the water can just pass through and it's not getting stuck here. Oh, and I love that kind of work, like being active in my everyday life and training some muscles, moving, not sitting in front of a desk and a laptop. Super nice. I always wished for that because I feel it's so natural for the body to not only move like 3 times a week in a fitness studio and paying for that kind of stuff. It's like paying to move my body that feels so wrong to me, because there's so much you can do outside of the gym. Like also running was one of my favorite things back in Germany. Not my favorite. I'm not good at running, but at least it was something I could just do in nature without paying anything. So now I can do it here and also learning new stuff. So it's a win-win, best of both worlds. Yeah, but now I'm super tired. I will take a break, eat some breakfast. And it's so nice to see that also the people around here, a lot of older Portuguese people are living here, they're all taking a really long rest at midday and also in the afternoon, because it's just too hot. And it's so nice to see that you go with the nature cycle and then you work in the morning and then you take a long rest, just relax. Do it slow because it's way too hot, and then you do something in the evening again. And you're not even feeling bad with just chilling. And I know when I was at home and chilling just during the day, I felt like so unproductive and useless, and what do I do and what's wrong with me? Everyone is being so active and getting stuff done. But now I feel like we need that rest, and it's super nice. I do something in the morning and the evening, and I still get a lot of things done, also because I'm so well rested during the day then. You know, I'm not like constantly on a run. I can just rest and then I'm fit again and be more active than before, more productive than before. I think that's also what a lot of companies don't understand. That it would be so much better if people work a little less, 4 days a week, or like 6 hours a day instead of 8 or even more, because we always do, or like at least I did, more hours than I was getting paid for, and that we would be so much more productive with this little change in hours and days of working, because we can rest and we feel better, and when we feel better and when we've rested, we will also be more productive. Our brain works better. Yeah, but that's old news, but I still think about it and realize it even more when I'm here and doing exactly that. So I'm still happy that I moved away from Germany. But it also has its good sides, but I'm super happy to be here right now. And it's not for everyone, I know. This kind of life that I'm living here right now, off-grid. I don't even have a shower. We go to the waterfalls and we have to get our own water to wash dishes and to drink and to do whatever, to cook. So yeah, I don't say that it's for everybody. Yeah, I just take you along a little bit on my journey, figuring out what my life will look like, what new thoughts I will have and new ideas. Yeah, but now I take a break and do breakfast. Bye. So same breakfast every morning, but it's just so tasty, and I definitely developed an obsession with self-made peanut butter because it's so good and yummy. And this is Marike, one of the most kind, creative, strong, independent, and funny humans I've met on my travels. And we become such a great team and had an amazing time together in this community. And actually, we were also the only two ones there. I've been busy filling up pages. I've been busy filling up. And now, time for a nap. I'm all done with scheming and conquest, but heavier than you. I just woke up from a nap. I love to take naps. And I always wondered how my grandparents could nap like 1 or 2 hours each day, and now I got it. So I think maybe it's also something with the age, where you feel way more what you did during the day than when I was younger. But I love it. And it's also the only time I dream something, or at least the dream that I remember. And it's such a special time, I think, this kind of nap vibe. I'm having so many creative things in my head, but without any pressure, just like completely weird and creative, and like in this mood where everything is so in a bubble or in a cloud and feels so rosé. I don't know how to put it, but I love that kind of feeling. And we always say we don't have time, but we have. So that's your reminder to take naps rather than putting something on your to-do list. And on goes the wooden floor process. To have a stable base for the 4 main wooden beams, we digged 12 pretty deep holes to place all the bricks in that you can see laying around. And I'm already super proud of us coming this far, as the leveling of the ground and the bricks was anything else but easy, physically and mentally.
But I think it's pretty good, that one.
These ones we then filled up with cement to have strong pillars to place the wooden floor on. And a quick tip here for the cement mix. So normally you use 1 part cement, 2 parts sand and 3 parts gravel, and then add water slowly until it's smooth but not runny. But in this case we wanted to make it a little easier, and we also only had sand and cement. So we skipped the gravel and only used 1 part cement to 2 or 3 parts sand, and then add water bit by bit until it's spreadable but not soupy. And later in the video you can even see a little sequence with a perfect consistency of a cement mix. Wood we got from a local wood factory with the van, and this was a challenge itself, but selbst ist die Frau, as we would say in Germany. So we managed to not only get relatively cheap wood on top of this van, driving with it through pretty curvy roads with a lot of trees around, but also to carry them down a mountain to our house, as the streets are too tight for the big car. That was definitely a boost for our self-esteem. A little side note, because I forgot to film it again, but before we started working with the wood, we oiled it with linseed oil 3 times, waited 24 hours between each paint to let it dry fully, and these layers mainly have to protect against moisture and everyday wear, and keeping the wood looking great for many years without any harsh chemicals. So just wipe it on, let it soak, and you're good to go. Interesting. I love it.
But this is a bit... Yeah, we need to put some rock.
And then we measured and cut, as we wanted the wood to press right up against these uneven stone edges and fit snugly in place on both sides. And that meant no straight cuts and a lot of precise work, but it was so worth it for the end result that I actually didn't film. At least this gives you a little sneak peek of the direction we were heading. And after a long working day, it was time to quickly wash my super dirty clothes. Old school, like everybody else in this village, at a natural spring by hand with soap and a brush. And actually we used it not only for washing our clothes, but also for cleaning the dishes, as drinking water and as a shower. And with that, one day ends and another starts. So I was just reading Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty, and I was just coming across a line that really spoke to me, and I just wanted to read it to you. It says, "We come to realize that we don't have to do everything, that we can't do everything. That what I can't do is someone else's gift and responsibility. My limitations make space for the gifts of other people." I think it was so powerful to just see the bigger picture of this whole universe and not only my little bubble, but really try to focus on the one, or like I don't know, 1, 2, 3 things that really resonate with me and my power and my strength and my passion. It's not to limit yourself, but to focus more. Another day, another project, and this time even another floor that had to be made, but this time out of stones. The stones we collected before from an old quarry that was not in use anymore. Very inspiring to see potential in the things just laying around for free, or finding solutions to exchange goods to get enough materials even on a low budget. The first thing we did again was to level the ground and to put a thin layer of cement mix on to have an even surface. And we then laid out the stones roughly how we wanted them to look in the finished look. So I never did that before, but I was really excited to try out something new without overthinking it or downing my skills, but just trusting in my common sense and some YouTube videos. So I learned over the past months that we all are way more capable of what we think we are, but forgot that it's all about trying out and getting better instead of being perfect from the beginning. Especially in this case, as it was only a floor and not a roof, a big wall or a bridge, where mistakes will probably have a bigger consequence. So it's totally fine to make some adjustments, as you mostly can undo them or find a solution for them. So after watching a few YouTube videos and exchange some ideas with Marike, it was time to give it a go. Here you can see how I made the cement mix by hand in a wheelbarrow. There are different techniques, some just do it in a big bucket, some also just on the floor, but they all have something in common. You really appreciate an electric cement mixer after doing this a lot of times, although it's nice to know how much work it can be without. And as I mentioned before, this is a really nice smooth texture for your cement mix, ideal for this kind of project. We went stone by stone, filling in the cement mix and leveling everything again. We're no pros, so of course some cement got on the stones, but don't worry, just let it dry a little so the stone settles and then brush and rinse it off. And again, no final result, but at least again a sneak peek. Hope I get better in the next videos, but sometimes I'm just so much in the moment and don't even think about getting the camera out, and especially when being covered in sweat, dirt and cement. Always when I overthink stuff or have too much stuff in my head, or also the opposite, my head is just empty, I try to find a high mountain I can climb on and just look in the distance. And now the sun comes out. Actually, I'm sitting on a big van, just on the roof. I'm having a super nice view. And I see a lot of people doing their work, working with the tractors, getting their veggies and fruits from the fields. It's just a really basic lifestyle here. And as much as I appreciate it and also want to go back to the basics and back to our roots kind of, I also of course like the luxury of the modern world and other things, not all the things, but a few things that come with it, like electricity, running water, you have Wi-Fi, and it's all things I don't have right now. We have a fountain where fresh spring water comes out, which is super nice, but you always have to carry, of course, your water down. And we have solar panels, so I have electricity, but only when the sun is out, and I don't have Wi-Fi right now. But it's so nice to just be aware of how much water we use every day for dishes, for a shower or a bath, for laundry, for watering plants, whatever, and also how much energy and electricity our mobile devices take, like the laptop and the phone, and how much you kind of have to work for this privilege to have it. Super nice, but I was just thinking about where's the mixture, or what is the mixture that I want for my life? Like, how much do I want to live in this rural, basic, back to the roots world, and how much do I want to still have the luxury items in my life that I know from my life back? in Hamburg or Germany in general. So I was just sitting here and thinking about that. I will let you know when I have a conclusion about that, but I think it, as I said, I think my answer is already that I want to have a mixture of both worlds. Can anyone relate to that? My father taught me how to imitate birds, or like at least to make that one sound. I don't know if it's even a bird, but I have a hard time doing it, as you can see. Sometimes even birds respond to that. No, not today, because I'm just not doing it super well. The evenings I mostly went for a last little walk with Wolfie, the cutest German Shepherd dog that was living with us, to end the day.